Welcome back to the Walking Dead Maniacs. I'm Gina.
And I'm Felix. Here we got The Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 19 variant.
Opening with a Judith voiceover. After Sebastian's death, Pamela wants to make an example. On the road, walkers, fettuccine con cornel cannellelli bean a la Jerry. To say that. Commonwealth is bringing in the survivors for questioning. They want to know where Eugene is. Eugene is worried about Stephanie, Max, and Rosita volunteers to go looking for her.
Yeah, check it out. Aaron is just he's adamant. I don't know if he wants to just get back to Gracie or he wants to see if Oceanside's okay, but he's
Right.
just, there's something nagging at him. Do you know what that is by chance? Or have a
I
theory?
I do not know, other than the fact that he's been away from Gracie for so long.
Yeah.
He's worried about what's going on in the Commonwealth. He can't take Gracie with him, but he doesn't want to leave her there. And I think just the separation, because he's been separated from her for a long time since him and Gabriel went.
Yeah, that's true.
You
And
know
you
that
notice that time does fly because of the Founders Day.
right?
When the survivors first got there, they were celebrating Founders Day. They're celebrating it again. So a whole calendar year has
Were
passed.
they celebrating Founders Day or were they celebrating Halloween? Because everybody was dressed up. I thought it was Founders Day too, but remember they did the costume contest and their
I
very own
remember that.
Mercer won?
I remember that. But they also did a lottery for that, though.
Right. I wonder if they don't do a lottery. It might have been a Founders Day. I was thinking that it was when we was first watching it. I was thinking, oh my gosh, it's been a year. But then I started remembering all the costumes. Remember Jerry and
You're right.
Easy
You're right.
Jerry and his kids were dressed up like Shiva and
And I intentionally gave you the Jerry gonna feel the first, basically the first paragraph, because
right.
I wasn't going to try to say that.
Cannellini.
After finding a place with walls for the night,
Ron.
sees friction between Lydia and Eli. Alone, Aaron tells Lydia about meeting Eric. Mercer and Princess talk about Eugene's fate. Mercer knows what the survivors feel about the Commonwealth is true. Max, not Stephanie, tells Mercer that it was her idea to play the recording in the Commonwealth and that Eugene saved her when Sebastian literally tried killing her by pushing her towards a walker. And the walker did grab her. If it
Right.
wasn't for Eugene, it would have killed her. Eugene
Yes.
comes in, kind of dives, pushes it, and that was last episode, but
Right. I liked this whole part about Mercer talking to Max and Max saying, I think Dad would be disappointed in you. I thought that was, probably something that hit him pretty hard. But I get the feeling that Mercer has always been one to follow the rules.
I get that feeling too. I
Um,
think I think he has a backstory. I think he didn't follow it once and something happened, which is why he's Pearl the rules.
right.
And that's why when he finds out later on, and I'm assuming here that Pamela's the one that ordered the release of the walkers and his men died, that's why,
Yeah.
he has a change of heart.
But I think that he feels like if he follows the rules, he will be able to keep his only family member still alive.
I agree. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, it could have been. Did they say why their dad passed?
No, they did not.
We already spoke about the princess telling the story of Mercer with her being locked in the closet.
Right.
Normally, I don't like those because anything could have happened. Like I tell you,
Right.
Gina, once upon a time, yada, yada, yada. And it could have and couldn't have happened. It's not there. But this story, for some reason, it hit me. It hit me. Maybe it
Right.
was the acting or whatever. But I loved it when Aaron did it with Lydia, as in telling a story that
Yes.
we actually saw. We
Right.
actually saw him and Eric in their relationship. For a couple seasons, we actually saw Eric die, and he just walked away as a walker, and Aaron just let him go. So when
I
he tells that story, you feel it because it's one of those. Normally, I hate these, like, oh, when I was young, blah blah blah. Just
right,
people, normally it's done in shows for plot, but
right,
this one it hit me.
right. I I really appreciated the fact that they brought Eric back, even in just a memory. I thought that that was very fitting for the end of the show because Eric meant so much to Aaron, whether Aaron survives the ending of the show or not. I think that it's important to viewers to know that, even though he may or may not have had something going on with Jesus, that Eric was the love of his life.
I think there was some going on, but that's
I
another
think the
story.
show writers said that there was, they just didn't put it on screen.
Because I think 6 years passed at that point,
Right.
so it's like something
Yeah.
happened there, obviously, but it was in that six. So we're not going to touch on it.
Right. Well, and I mean, if they were together, they weren't together because one was still living here, one was still living there. So they weren't, like Eric and Aaron were.
And also, I think that was the turn for Aaron because when you see I think this is the one where it was about him when he first started on the show. He just looks so,
Innocent.
yeah, innocent. Like, he
Young.
looks like an innocent little boy.
Yes.
Um,
Well, he
I,
used to go around to other countries and he was like a good Samaritan. He went around and, provided food and stuff for people.
and he was a good judge of character, and they proved that when when he first met the
Right.
survivors.
Yeah.
Mm, Mr. Rick effing Grimes punches them out, but that's
Yeah.
when he first comes. That happens in the comics. So I know I bring up the comic a lot, but that happens in the
Yeah.
comics where he does that. But go ahead.
I like the fact that, he's telling Lydia, I wish that I'd have said yes even one day earlier when Eric was
Because
asking me out for 6 months, because that would have given us one more day to be together. And then
yeah,
to see her and Elijah come together and kiss, I thought was
yeah,
really,
because
really sweet.
she's still having those feelings because of Henry, and
Right.
that
That's why she
again,
told
I
Carol.
like that because it shows that it just wasn't a teen something
Right.
that just happened once and yada yada. Henry meant something
But
to her.
she said it to Carol and then she said it again to Aaron. Eugene and Daryl fisticuffs, then have a talk. Princess trips that Ezekiel is planning on staying at the Commonwealth. Princess tells Mercer she's still leaving, then tells him that she knows he's a good man. Aaron says, I've heard stories about walkers like this that can climb walls and open doors. Eugene turns himself in and takes sole responsibility for what happened. Before the saviors can leave, most are kidnapped.
Check it out. First of all, I did the whole Leonardo DiCaprio gif where he points at the TV.
Yeah,
This has nothing to do with The Walking Dead, but Aaron Ross Marquardt, he played Red Skull and Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. We're all well aware of that, right?
right.
Well, he's also Aaron on The Walking Dead. When he thinks it's a whisper and rips off his
Yeah,
face, it's a Red Skull. Maybe I'm just looking
I
into
didn't
it,
catch that.
but I'm like Aaron Red Skull. Oh, they just did a little a little Easter egg
Right.
like they call it, because I was like Red Skull. But and
Another
honestly,
thing
I'm
that,
not gonna lie, I caught it the second time around, not the first time around. So maybe there's
another
that.
thing that Aaron said about walkers that can climb walls and open doors, he also said walkers that stick around familiar
To
places.
their where they're familiar with.
So
And all that harkens back to season 1, episode 2,
with
or is it episode 1 with
it's episode 1 because I think you're talking about Morgan's wife
yeah, she comes up to the door and
and she
tries
rattles the doorknob.
And even the teddy bear girl,
Right,
she picks up her teddy bear. Fans always poke holes. Oh, how come the Walkers used to do this and now they do
right.
this? How come? And I love that they came back and they answered
Answered
it.
it.
I loved it because it's like it, it wasn't which it was, because of the producer and them
Right,
changing it, which we're not going to get into, but and how things were going to happen with the Walkers. But I
right.
love that they went around
I did
and
too. I
explained
thought
that.
of Morgan's wife as well when they were talking about that. But let's talk about just for a minute. I just want to talk about this little place that they found where they hold up for the night.
It's going to
And
be Kingdom 2. You
yeah,
already
Jerry was
know.
saying
Yeah.
Kingdom 2.0, and King Ezekiel, and Aaron said, "Well, what about a King Jerry?" And I thought,
It's going to be Jerry.
that would
He's going to run his own spot. I
right,
see it.
because Ezekiel wants to stay in the Commonwealth.
What
And
did you think about that in his reasoning?
I think Ezekiel likes large groups of people. And I think that the Commonwealth, even though it's not, the Commonwealth has got a deep, dark, dirty secret somewhere. And I think that he's well aware of that. But at the same time, he's feeling more like himself. He's not worrying about dying anymore because they took care of the thyroid cancer that he had.
I think they gave him a new life, and no
Right.
matter what, that's why he wants to stay there
Yeah. And he's
because
got a
he
zoo
would be gone
there,
by now.
and he feels like he can help the down and out people because that's what he's been kind of doing,
Yeah.
is really helping the people that are down.
I'm also going to throw this in here. It just popped in my head now, talking about Aaron and his past and everything. He may be the big kill at the end. I totally see him because I don't know if you noticed, but in the square where not the one where they call the Commonwealth, where everyone kind of hangs out, don't you notice that there's like a statue in the middle, but they never show it. At least I haven't seen it. But there's like a statue right in the middle where they walk around. I bet you
I
anything because
I haven't seen. I have not noticed that. What I
we'll
have
check
noticed,
next time. Go ahead.
what I have noticed is Aaron in the show looks exactly like Rick in the comics.
From the missing arm to
From
the
the missing
beard
arm
to
to the
the
beard.
head. But I don't know if you've read the last comic when
I have
Rick
not.
tells him
Still
we are
working on it.
not the Walking Dead. I think Aaron's gonna take his arm out, just like I'm getting chills just thinking about it. I think Rick's gonna take his arm out, just like Rick did in the comic, and just put his hand up in the air and say, "We're not the Walking Dead." Even
Right.
though he didn't hear that story,
Yeah.
he's still gonna be the one that does it. Whether he dies or
Yep.
not, I don't know. But
Yeah.
I believe that's what changes everything.
Yep.
Is he's gonna
And
give the speech that Rick gives.
I don't want him to, but I've seen enough of the comics, and that was the first thing. As soon as Rick left, it was almost an immediate transition where Aaron looked just like Rick from the comics
Yeah.
to me. So, and I don't think that Aaron has taken Rick's place. I'm just saying that the physical characteristics are there.
I see it. I hope he sticks around. I really like his character. And
I'm
honestly,
so
he's
for
one of the
Tracy.
first. He's one of the what the few members of the Walking Dead I want to meet. I actually want to meet that guy. I hear he
Yeah.
does really good. But now, Gina, comes the ratings. What do you give Variant?
I liked this one better. I think this was probably my favorite one because I like
The
the
tension.
standoff between Daryl and Eugene and Hoss
Okay,
and
I put that in there, fisticuffs. Of course, they didn't fight, but
right.
Eugene's like up. How was it going to
Don't
be,
have to
Haas?
get ugly, Hoss.
And Daryl's just sitting there, and you see a slight smile, just a slight
Yep.
smile. Like, if I fight you, I would beat the crap out of you. This is not going to happen. And then he goes, "You want to go? Go. I don't care."
I just want a
I thought
T-shirt.
that was awesome too.
I want a T-shirt with Eugene's face on it that says "No reason for things to get ugly, Hoss."
Haas. Yeah, I like that line too. I like that line too. No reason to get ugly, Hoss. I'm like,
So
and then
I don't
back then,
know
there was just
because of that, I'm gonna give it probably an 8, a little bit higher
no,
than the other two because I really liked the
and it's
element.
actually going there. It's actually almost like you can
Right.
feel the building in this. You can feel
Yes.
something's happening in this.
Yes.
I will also give it an 8. To be honest with you, it was a good episode. I will watch it again.
Yes.
Um, the Haas moment got me. The walkers opening the door and climbing walls got me. Lydia coming to terms with she has to live. I mean, all that, even with Aaron, kind of there's something there. I don't
Right.
know if maybe he even got bit and he wants to be back in time to be with his before he
Yeah.
died. I mean, there's something up with Aaron on
Right.
top of what we already know.
And the other thing in this episode that I loved was the bolo tie.
Was the what?
The bolo tie, the tie that's got the string and the clasp on it, those are called bolo ties. That's what
Oh,
you do in
give this
Babe
to
Rosina.
Coco. Give
I
this to
love
Coco.
that.
He's I don't know, maybe in about 15 years she'll be able to rock this. And
Right.
then
Yeah.
Rosita's like, I don't think she'll ever wear that.
No, it's a lot of elements in this show in this particular episode that I really liked. So yeah, a
Yeah.
good 8.
I was gonna go a little bit higher, like an 8.3. I'm always
Yeah.
of the point threes. But yeah, it was a good 8. It was a solid 8. All right, then
Oh,
I think that is it. And Kevin's gonna take us out.
And that does it for the Walking Dead Maniacs. So for Gina and Felix, I am Kevin saying, try to stay alive, everybody.
bye,
See ya.
y'all.